Hey, what's going on everyone? Today I'll be covering the premium Bandai exclusive Crossbone Gundam X3. Before I start the review here, I highly recommend watching my review of the Master Grade Crossbone X1 before you watch this video. This X3 is essentially the same kit as the X1, so this is going to be less a comprehensive review as much as a compare and contrast between the two kits. Okay, I'll be reviewing this kit in 4 categories: the build, the appearance, the articulation, and the gimmicks. I'll give each a score from 1 to 5, and at the end I'll tally everything up for an average score. Hopefully this review will help you decide if you're willing to pay premium Bandai prices for this kit. Part 1. The build. The build for this kit is exactly the same as the Crossbone X1, specifically for the version Katoki, not the full cloth. There are 2 major differences with this build though. The first is the type of plastic used in the inner frame. The original Crossbone X1 used a very thick ABS plastic for its inner frame. This means joints would either be too tight or too loose. There just wasn't much give to them. This X3 on the other hand uses a very soft plastic instead. This means the joints fit a lot better, and nubs aren't as noticeable. But the downside is the frame is ultimately weaker. The second major difference is the additional painting. Yeah, there's actually even more detailing work to be done on this kit, on top of everything for the X1. Okay, so let's just run through it all. First off, you'll need to paint these extra red lines on the shoulders. Then you'll need to paint the inner frame of the shoulders red. I recommend using spray paint for this one. Then you'll need to paint the white tips on the V-fin. You do get a sticker for them, but the sticker has to fold over 3 or 4 surfaces, so painting is a must. Then I highly recommend painting the white 3 on the forehead. You get some water slide decals for it, but they just flat out don't work. See, the 3 is actually molded into the plastic, but instead of having a well-defined 3 with hard edges on it, it's more of a rounded slope. This means you're never going to get the water slide to fit right, so you've really got no choice but to paint it. After that, you're going to have to paint this blue section on the chest. You get stickers for it, but it just doesn't cover all sides, so I just used a blue Gundam marker on it. It's not the exact right shade of blue, but the piece is so small I barely notice it. Finally, you've got some work to do on the sword. I highly recommend adding some black to the vents, this gray to the skull, and this yellow on the handle. Okay, that should do it for the major differences. The extra painting is a little annoying, and the way the 3 on the forehead is handled is pretty disappointing. For this build, I've got to knock down the original 3.5 I used for the X1 and give the build for this kit a flat 3 out of 5. Part 2. The appearance. This kit is really just a color swap of the X1. Yeah, the head has some differences and the beam generators on the back of the arms are different, but ultimately if you like the design of the version Katoki X1, you're gonna like this X3. I personally really like the new colors though. The red, yellow, and blue just stand out so much more than the black of the X1. If you put the X1 and X3 back to back, well, the X3 just pops in comparison. Honestly, I know these kits are almost exactly the same, but the colors just make this kit way more appealing to me. So in comparison to the X1, which received a 4, this kit will receive a 4.5 out of 5 for its appearance. Part 3. The articulation. There really isn't much of a need for this section, especially if you've seen the X1 review. It has literally all the same bins as the X1. I will say the softer plastic on the inner frame makes the kit feel a little less sturdy, but it's not really that noticeable unless you're thinking about it. So I'll give the articulation for the X3 the exact same score as the X1, which is a 4.5 out of 5. Part 4. The gimmicks. Out of the gate, you're going to notice this kit gets literally all the weapons from the X1 version Katoki, even the ones the X3 never actually used. You get the Zanber, the Buster, the whips with the optional side skirts, the front skirt, scissor anchors, beam sabers, and my favorite gimmick, the anti-beam cloak. Not that you ever want to hide this guy behind a cloak with all these colors that pop, you know? You will notice that even though you get the brand markers, you've got nowhere to put them since the beam generators on the back of the arms are different. The 2 additions you get with this kit over the X1 are the massive sword, which is called the Muramasa Blaster, and these eye field generators on the back of the arms. The Muramasa Blaster is great. I mean, it requires some painting to get looking good, as I mentioned in part 1, but once you've got that done, you've really got a standout weapon. The X3 can hold it no problem too, since there are pegs in the hands. So honestly, I never really take it out of the hands. You get these beam effect parts for it too. They just plug right into the vents and you're ready to go. The second upgrade this kit gets are the new eye field generators on the back of the arms. They completely replace the brand markers of the X1. They fold open to reveal some nice vents too. I could see myself detailing these up later too. You also get a special set of hands for use with the generators. They are these open palm looking hands. You'll notice you don't get any effect pieces though. You'd think Bandai would throw in some clear effect pieces like they did with the robot Damashi, but nope, this is all you get. That about does it for the gimmicks. It's really just the Muramasa Blaster and the Eye Field generators. They're both really nice additions, but I wouldn't say they're selling features. But you do get all the weapons from the X1, so I won't add or subtract any points. For its gimmicks, I give the X3 the same score as the X1, a 4 out of 5. And finally, the verdict. Time to wrap everything up for an average score. Compared to the X1, the build got a slightly lower score of 3 out of 5. It's the exact same build, but with more painting and annoying stickers. The appearance got a slightly higher score of a 4.5 out of 5. I just love the colors of this kit. It really pops in comparison to the X1. The articulation got the same score as the X1, a 4.5 out of 5. The plastic is a little softer, but this really isn't a net gain or loss. The gimmicks also match the X1 with a 4 out of 5. The Muramasa Blaster and Eye Field generators are cool, but they both have their share of letdowns. You do get the complete arsenal of the X1 though. Tallying all that up and dividing, you get, unsurprisingly, the same score as the X1, a 4 out of 5. In terms of a percentage, this premium Bandai kit receives an 80%. This really wasn't my intention at all. It just happens to be how it worked out. There are a lot of premium Bandai kits that are way better than the original, like the Real Grade Zeta 3. Then there are some that end up being letdowns, like the Gundam Front exclusive Real Grade Arc 78. This kit is somewhere in the middle. If you like the X1 and want the X3, then you won't be disappointed. If you didn't like the X1, you can feel good knowing you're not missing out on anything with this kit. Okay, that's my brief review of the premium Bandai exclusive Master Grade Crossbone Gundam X3. Feel free to leave a comment or question about this kit, and I'm more than happy to get back to you. I know premium Bandai kits can be expensive, so definitely ask any questions you want before dropping that extra cash on this kit. Feel free to recommend another Master Grade Gundam for me to review too. Alright, thanks for watching.